So the Kayfabe Tier List is the brainchild of Steven. It is a visual tracker used to record the mobility of the members of WWE's roster in terms of credibility and presentation. I'm looking over this post-Backlash edition of the Kayfabe Tier List, also for the month of May 2017. Are there any things on this list that stand out to you? Because I'm seeing one thing, and it really stands out to me. I'm quite sure you know what I'm talking about. Because it's very interesting, the fact that we have the WWE Champion, Jinder Mahal. It's been...
That's what you meant? I thought you meant the fact that you accidentally put Chris Jericho on Raw.
No.
He's from SmackDown, you idiot.
Can I just go ahead and state for the record that that's your job to change all of that stuff?
Oh, shit.
Yes, it's my fault for not catching your mistake.
Oh, okay. Well, well, look, you know what happens when people don't catch my mistakes, huh? You just made the Kayfabe Tier List.
I'm fine with that. I'm in the S tier, right?
No, that's not. That's not how it works. But let's okay. You want to talk about Jinder Mahal? Is that what we're gonna do right away?
I mean, I guess we have to, because you just look at the fact that Jinder Mahal is right next to the tag champions. That puts basically the WWE Championship on the same tier as the tag titles. And then look in the A tier, you have Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. You have secondary titles in WWE that are currently ranked higher than what is supposed to be the premier championship, not just in WWE, but in all of professional wrestling. That's an issue, right?
That is an issue, and it goes to a much larger issue that I'll get into after we talk about Jinder Mahal. So, I mean, Jinder Mahal, there's a lot of things you could say about him. I personally think he's all right. I can see why he would be in the position that he's in. The problem is the push happened out of nowhere. I think we could say that's the problem. It's not him. He's okay, in my opinion. He has a very good look. He's decent on the mic. He's serviceable. He's in the ring. He's serviceable. But the push just came out of nowhere. And this is a guy who was a jobber for all of his career, not even some of it, all of it, all of it. And then he becomes the WWE Champion. Now, this is supposed to be a surprise. This is supposed to be a shock, a breath of fresh air. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but it's not good, because not all surprises are good, especially the ones that make no sense. The best surprises are the ones that make sense in hindsight. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
It's the one that you don't see coming, but you could see the logic in it only in hindsight. It doesn't make sense when you do the least predictable thing because it makes no sense. That's what Jinder Mahal is right now. It's like, let's do the thing that makes the least sense and then say it's a surprise. Well, I know they have their business reasons. They want to open up the market in India.
Can I just go ahead and give you a round of applause for the way that you just broke that down? That's something that I really appreciated about Charlie when he was on the show. Like, shit just goes crazy in my mind, like fireworks all over the place. But I love it when somebody can break it down in the most simple terms, like, bam, here is the issue. And you perfectly just did that with this entire Jinder Mahal situation. So thank you for that.
Oh, no problem. That's how I see it. And look, I know that it's a business move. That's clearly what it is. But if I'm analyzing it from a fan perspective, I just see this as just stupid. And it's continuing to break down the hierarchy and the logic of the wrestling universe, at least as it pertains to WWE. Because I don't know if you want to get into this discussion now, but this is what I've been thinking about.
Can we just pause right there? Because I need to jump on that whole business part. People act as if just because it makes sense from a behind-the-scenes perspective to WWE, that we as fans are supposed to give them credit or become understanding because of that. You look at Jinder Mahal, well, he's of Indian heritage. They're trying to work out business deals in India, and people throw that out there as if it is an explanation, as if what doesn't make sense is supposed to make sense now just because WWE has business objectives. I don't understand how WWE's business objectives and them attempting to meet them is supposed to entertain me. If we're bringing on India and WWE's business ventures as an on-screen storyline, I'd understand then. But you can't tell me that just because WWE is meeting their business interests that I'm all of a sudden supposed to go, okay, I understand, I get it now. I'm gonna flip that entertainment switch off because my entertainment comes second to WWE fulfilling their obligations to stockholders and trying to increase market share in India. That makes no sense to me.
And you know what the other thing is? It's not even clear that this is a great business move to begin with. First of all, we don't even know if this is going to yield what they want it to yield. We don't know if Jinder Mahal is going to catch on in India. I mean, I know they're very patriotic people.
Well, hey, if you judge by the comment section of my video, he's catching on.
Well, people, people in general, I think are being tricked by this Jinder thing. They're falling for it because it's a breath of fresh air. Look, it kind of is. I'm gonna admit it. There's a part of me that wanted to see him win, but that's not the part of me that I would have made this. If I had the power to make the decision, I would not have let that part of me make that decision because, as much as like I like to see novelties, I don't want to see novelties that jeopardize the whole structure of the company. So look, even if this does work out in India, it's still not clear to me that it's a good business move because this is contributing to a larger issue that's gonna, I think, cost them business in the future. So it's about, is it gonna make you business now or later? I mean, maybe it's gonna help you now, but what's gonna happen when people just don't give a shit anymore, as they have been not giving a shit for the past many years, because you've just been jettisoning your entire structure? I don't know. I mean, that's something that I don't know the answer to, but it's still not clear to me that this is a great business move. But even if it is in the short run, it's not clear to me that it'll be in the long run. But yeah, like you said, we don't have to talk about business. I mean, look, first of all, even if they wanted to do that, there's better ways to do it. You could have Jinder Mahal and fine, just give it a bit longer. Maybe do it over 3 or 4 months, not 1 month. You can't do, and it's not even, it's worse than it even sounds, because we got to think, how did Jinder Mahal get in this position in storyline? Who did he beat? He beat a bunch of mid-carders, which is why I typed out on Twitter that SmackDown is not the land of opportunity. It's affirmative action for jobbers. This is not opportunity. Opportunity is when you face someone on your level, not when you face mid-carders. So what? He beats a bunch of mid-carders and he's qualified for the championship? He couldn't even beat the mid-carders clean. He had to do it with his buddies. So it's even worse than it sounds. You know, he's not good from a storyline perspective. He's pretty much trash because he needs 2 guys to help beat a bunch of mid-carders. Now this is crazy, and it gets even more bizarre than that because from what I remember, the week before is the #1 contenders match for the mid-card title, and who is in that match? All the main eventers, right? Isn't that what happened? It was AJ versus
Sami Zayn
and
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Okay, 2 of them not main eventers, but still upper mid card guys.
Basically, they're higher on the totem pole than the ones who were competing for the WWE Championship.
Absolutely, you could believe Baron Corbin maybe could win a #1 contenders match for the world title. Maybe he can't win it. I don't know.
Oh, you could believe that Baron Corbin could be in the exact spot that Jinder Mahal is in right now.
Well, anyone could be. I mean, Jinder Mahal was at the bottom now.
And that's the entire thing about it. Literally, anybody in WWE could be in that spot right now. You look all the way down in the D tier, any one of those people could be where Jinder Mahal is right now. And if you accept Jinder Mahal in this current position, how could you have anything negative to say about any of the other people?
This is like a postmodern WWE right now, and it's been getting bad, but this is the pinnacle of what's been happening over the past many years. You know, it's been bad before. You've had Jack Swagger as the world champion, but at least you could say, well, it's the world heavyweight champion. He won it with the Money in the Bank. Okay, still retarded, but not as stupid as Jinder Mahal beating a few mid-carders and then becoming the champion. That makes no sense. After the main eventers, AJ Styles, who was an incredible world champion, is placed in the mid-card title. What is going on, you know? And it's not better over on Raw because before Braun Strowman was injured, they were all competing to face Dean Ambrose for the IC title. First of all, tell me why Dean Ambrose, a former world champion, is the IC champion. Tell me why Kevin Owens, a former world champion, is the U.S. champion.
And a
Correct.
fucking jobber is a WWE champion.
True.
Just let that marinate for a second.
Yeah.
Look at the friggin' kayfabe tier list. Look at Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, former Universal Champion. Dean Ambrose, former WWE Champion. Mid-card titles. Jinder Mahal, jobber, WWE Championship.
And you know what? Historically, he's going to lose that title and he's just going to become a mid-card champion. Because that's what happens. That's what's been happening. There is no hierarchy. There is no climbing in WWE anymore. You don't go from nothing to maybe tag team champion to IC champion to world champion. That doesn't happen. You just go directly to world champion, then you go down.
Look
That's
at
what
the
happens.
person. You want to know an amazing example of climbing the ranks? The person that's right next to Jinder Mahal, Jeff Hardy.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
In his career all the way up to what was it, 2009 when he left WWE. I think it was 2009. He was in a tag team with his brother. When they broke up, went their separate ways. He was an Intercontinental Champion. He moves up, becomes a WWE Champion,
He was the
and
WWE and I believe the World Heavyweight Champion, I think, at different times.
yeah, but that's the perfect example right there in Jeff Hardy, and I'm quite sure that there are other people that you could go to for that as well. It's just like he's right next to him, and something has changed in WWE where, as you said earlier on in the show, this is not the beginning of the change. This is just the most overt example and just like in your face
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I don't know what the fuck is going on.